Hey everybody, I'm here today bringing you a little 6x8 pocket page using a bunch of Momenta embellishments. Oh, look at those little faces. So this is from my beach album that I'm trying to get done. It's from last year, so I'm trying to get it done before we go on another beach trip this year, which I'm so ready for. But so I just had a bunch of random little photos from days on the beach, and they were just random, so they didn't all go together or anything, but they were perfect for a little 6x8 pocket page with all 2x2 grid squares. So that's what I'm doing here. And I know that sounds really small, but when you have a collection of them, they actually, it flows with your eye really well. And a lot of these are 2x3 photos, and what I'll do is I'll split them down the middle and then disperse them among the pockets. And I just have one rule for that, is I don't cut through anyone's face. You know, I find a naturally dividing line, or usually between two people is what I do here. So I use a lot of paper trimmer, and what I want to do is I want to mostly match this Momenta embellishment right here. So I grab this 8x8 pad, and that red's not quite right, so I fall to the blue, the navy blue here, and I'm cutting just perfect 2x2 squares. Those are going to be my background squares. So I don't necessarily have a rule against putting two photos next to one another on a pocket page. What I do is I back them on a white border so that no photos run up directly next to one another, and it gives a nice dividing line. And I just like to intersperse them so that your eye is naturally drawn through a little storyline on the pocket page. So here I backed it on white, so it has a white border all the way around, and then I'll put it on the background square of navy. I'm going to do that for a few, and then I'll also later on I'll find a coordinating color so that not every square is navy blue. And as you can see, I'm just using scraps. That's a great thing about these tiny pocket pages, is it really can help you use up all those scraps that are laying around, so that you don't want to just like waste it and throw it away, because there's a good chunk of paper, but it was irregularly sized. But it worked perfectly to back this little 2x2 square. So here I am looking through a different paper pad. I'm going to find a coordinating, it's a very light blue, with a very, I think it has a really light chevron pattern, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that into 2x2 squares as well. And that will just kind of divide up the page among my backgrounds. That's a jellyfish. That's always fun to find on the beach, right? So I'm cutting it down so that you will be able to see the pattern background paper a little bit, and then I'll slice it in half to go among two squares, because it's kind of large, and my idea is to put one of the larger embellishments over the top of it. I end up changing my mind, but it's all right. That's part of the process, right? So here, I've backed it in a white border, and I just line up the background paper so that I can ensure the photo is lined up well. And there you can see, I love the clear backgrounds that comes on these embellishments, because it really helps with before you decide to commit. And I'm trying to make it work, and I'll fiddle around with it for a little while, but it just covered up the entire photo too much where you couldn't see. So you'll see what I decide to do with it in a little while. So I'm trying to organize how I want my entire layout to look. I even lay it down there, and then I'm just like, nope, that doesn't work. It's like a little puzzle, kind of. So then I think, well, maybe it'll go on a background in this photo, but then no, it covers the two tiny people up. Maybe over here. No, it covers up the seashells. Finally, I decide that it can fit over here, and the cursive letters will go between my face and my son's face. And it actually works really perfectly, and I love the way that it looks. So I grabbed some more 2x2 navy squares. I really love how just it's neutral. It's dark, but it's neutral, and so it works well with the overall color palette of all these beach photos. That's another way that I determined how to put all these photos on the same pocket pages. They all pretty much have the same tone and feel. Obviously, it's a lot of sand in the photos. So here I am again, just so what I do when I split a photo down the middle, I don't add the white border on the seam of the photo. Obviously I want it to almost look continuous when I put it in the separate pockets, so I don't want a border separating us, but I do border the other 3 edges of the photos. And this is a little different from the other process videos I've done, but I just kind of want to go through some design choices. I know a lot of people still haven't tried pocket pages, and so they are very fun, especially to house a bunch, like I said, of random photos. Or if you have a lot of photos of one event, you could do a traditional page and then do a pocket page on the company side. I do that a lot. So they're super fun, and I just want to like kind of give my design ideas that I go to. You know, you're not contained to the pocket. Think outside the pocket like I just did. I really wanted to use that embellishment. I didn't want to have to cut it up, so I just adhered it to the outside of the pocket, and it will hold up really well. You know, we're fairly careful when we flip through scrapbooks anyway, right? And then of course, even now I go through scrapbooks and I'll have my glue bottle, and eventually you might need to glue stuff back down, but it'll hold up for quite a few years. Especially these wood veneer pieces here, they're typically very sticky. So I don't mind sticking that on the outside of the page as well. It's a very sturdy piece. It's not gonna be ruined. So what I do, another rule I try to follow is if I have words on one, usually if I have words on a background page in one of my pockets, I try not to put words in a surrounding pocket, at least not side by side. So as you can see up there, I stuck an embellishment on the photo, so I put words next to the photo, on the photo next to it. Some photos just go in by themselves, and some photos can have a little embellishment to add interest. That is the cutest little anchor. I love how glittery it is. So since I don't have anything on that row with words, I feel completely fine to add words into this pocket. So I add this little banner, and then I actually go to a different embellishment pack from Momenta, and I pick another sticker that has words, and I add it to that pocket. And that one, everything fit well inside the pocket, so I didn't feel the need to stick it on the outside of the pocket. And this, if you're working with bigger pockets, you can usually fit more in. These are 2x2s, so they're smaller. But there we go, there we have it. That's just a simple process and a few little rules I put on myself to have a nice clean design on my pocket pages, but still keep them interesting. I hope you enjoyed this, and check out more on the blog.